But real quick, so my hometown of Ames, Mississippi was hit with an E43 tornado this Friday, past Friday night. And so I'm asking for the Baylor family, the Waco community, to send special prayers out to those people in that particular area. They're taking up donations at the old garment building in Amory, supplies or anything. So just continue to pray for these guys, my family and all those guys during this time.
Your family still there?
Oh, yeah. What's wrong? Oh, yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
As far as the D-line, you got some new guys.
Yes, sir.
How are they kind of fitting in?
So spring ball, you get to really focus on the technique. You're not really too much worried about an opponent. And so you get extra time. We have the walkthrough days in between practice days. And you really get to see those guys grow probably the fastest within like a week or so, from knowing like absolutely nothing about the way that you teach it to seeing them grow. And so the young guys and the new guys within the position are really like thriving as it relates to starting to learn technique. Now they're still a long ways away, more plays and all the other stuff, but just the technique, like coming out of my hips, using our hands, they've made some strides.
Okay.
Coach, Gabe talked about the energy of this group, and that's what gives you confidence. Is that something that you've noticed as well?
Yeah, so Coach Aranda does a really good job in their team meetings talking about playing with the energy and edge. Powell is the most energetic person you'll ever be around. And so there's an emphasis put on that. You don't want to just play technique for the sake of playing technique. You want to play it with energy. And we think that's where our edge is. And so you can see it screaming some days. And then the days where it's not, we have to hold each other accountable and make it get to the level where it's supposed to be for us to be good up front.
How's Jarrell doing?
So JB's doing well, coming from a junior college into this setting, playing at this level is different. There's an adjustment. The off season, he had to work to really get in shape, coming from where he was. The team around him, really pushes him, and you could kind of see him starting to come alive now. He's not so much into his shell as he used to be. He's starting, to get settled in, and you kind of see his personality come out in his play. So it's really good to see. Still a long ways to go, but we're definitely making strides towards it. He's doing good.
Jackie was someone who had a lot of success last year at linebacker. What was the conversation like when it came to moving into D-line?
Jackie always wanted to play inside. When we recruited him to bring him here, that's where he was going to be originally. We were really deep interior-wise before, and so he could play with the jack because that's where his reps would be. So he's been fired up. He didn't blink an eye, and I'm really proud of him because it's almost like a fish in water. It's almost natural for him in that defensive, in that F position, the field position, same thing that TJ plays. The 4-eye, playing the react attack, going to a 5 technique, which is a lot like the jack. So he's thriving. Really proud of Jackie.
How can we expect this defense to be different from Coach Roberts to now Coach Powell?
Yeah. With Powell, he's a bit more probably aggressive with us getting up the field a little bit more than what we were before. We did a lot of two-gap and stuff across the front, to stop the run, and we still have that stuff. But really owning and setting edges, strong edges. If I'm a 3 tech, I'm a 5 tech, you're really getting big in your gap, really owning your space. And I think that's the biggest thing right now that he's brought.
How about Cooper? What do you have in mind?
I'm so proud of Coop right now. So Coop, he plays in and nose for us at the moment. He's really probably more natural at the nose position. He's really strong. You see him in the weight room when he power cleans. He can get 330 off the ground, get under it, and taking that strength that he has and applying it to the nose position, where his hips, hands, and knock back in the center and taking on blocks. So I feel like that spot is better for him right now. Now he's still, like I said, he's still playing both, and we're still filling it out as we go through spring. But he's doing a really good job at taking on the new technique. It's not easy to play nose, but he is doing a heck of a job.
Coach, you obviously lost a lot of experience. We saw some of them.
Yeah, pro day.
But Gabe and TJ, having those guys back with the experience they have, how much does that help this group?
It helps a lot. And the thing with those two is, when we got here in 2020, they were, not starters. They've been through the whole process, from the back end, working their way through depth to now being guys. And so their journey, able to mentor the young guys in the room now that's on that similar journey that they've been on. Because it can be hard when you walk in a room and you got a guy who's like, really talented, like some of the guys in the front, and you're in the back and you're watching the film and your play's not like that right now. But you have to understand you have to go through it all. They had to go through it all to get to the point and continuously improving, And so just having them there for that part when they're not in the building, when guys might be down, to lift them up, hey, it's okay. You're going to show up tomorrow and you're going to get better. That changes everything, And I think that's the benefit of really having them in the room.
Guys like Apu and Jackson, Alexander, what do you see from this this group that gives you confidence that you guys could still have plenty of success
No,
this year?
kind of like what you just asked me with having, Gabe and TJ in the room. People who've been there, kind of done it before and have to take it to the next level now. So that leadership gives me confidence that the young guys that's coming up, the new faces, the Jackies, the JBs, that they're going to catch up to that same speed. You know what I mean? And so that part of the leadership gives me the confidence that we'll be okay.
Are there any other guys that we haven't talked about who might play some?
Devontae Tizino, he's going to have to step up coming up here. Trey Wilson, he's a early enrollee freshman playing the F position. Still learning a lot. Like, it's all very new to him, but pushing him and getting them better and more technically sound, he could show up too. So I think those two guys, for sure, there's ways of pushing them to possibly see the field outside the names that we've already talked about.
When you're preaching to guys about buying in and things like that, how helpful is it to point to Apu and Jackson and say, we're getting these guys to the next level?
Oh, you're talking like in recruiting and stuff like that, or just in our room?
Yeah, both recruiting or just the guys that are freshmen coming in.
Yeah, so they've all seen it. You know what I mean? You got teach tape of guys doing it, and then they're like, "Oh, that's what it looks like." Yeah, that's the technique we're talking. And they've done it at practice, and they've done it on Saturdays. So just to see that this is what it takes, like the images of it, it helps a lot. Because everybody know those names because they're really good players, and that's why they had their pro day the way that they had it yesterday, which is huge. And so it gives them confidence. It's the same room, the same type of drills they've had to do that they're doing now, and hopefully get them in that position one day.
Are you playing guys at different spots right now and just kind of get them more versatile?
Again, like that's spring, and so you have the opportunity to put guys in different positions. I mean, as the season goes, things happen, and you have to move people around, and so you can use these bank reps now to have them in case they need to move a position, And so it's cool to see, like, Coop was a great example. Like, he's his first time ever playing some nose for us, and he's going through it like he's done it 100 times before, and so that's another weapon that we have on the defense.
Obviously, the season's a long ways away, but are you expecting maybe more 4-man fronts or 3-man? I mean, maybe a little bit of both?
As we continue to go through spring, we'll find out what we're really good at. Powell is doing a fantastic job of mixing it all up every day, whether it's a blitz period or a team period, the different fronts, the 3-down, the 4-down fronts, and we're going to find out what we're good at. And I think, again, this is what you do in the spring when they give you these 15 practices to get that done.
So, TJ, obviously, you're one of the veterans out there. Do you kind of feel that responsibility to kind of be a leader?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they kind of been pushing that role on me since last year. I guess I wasn't real comfortable with last year, so I just kind of sat in the back and let the other older guys try to lead. But this year, I feel like it's my responsibility to definitely take that leadership role, especially in the D-line group, and try to push everybody.
Y'all have to have some young guys step up, too. Are you seeing some encouraging signs?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the young guys, they just continue to get better. A lot of them are surprising us because a few of them are in different positions and they're excelling in those positions really well. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do.
How do you change your mindset? You say last year was tough for you to be a leader. How do you kind of flip that around to this year?
I guess just maturity, just having a mature mindset going into the season. It used to be like kind of just fun and games, but now, I'm more determined, feel like I'm more on a mission. So I feel like I have to elevate everybody else to also get us all in there.
Who are some of the young guys that have caught your eye so far?
Jackie Marshall, Cooper Lance, Jarrell, pretty much most of the D-line. They've all been excelling pretty fast just in the few days we practiced this spring.
What was one of the big takeaways? You talked about watching other guys and how they led. What was one of the big takeaways that you had from watching other guys in the past couple of years?
Just having the maturity to be able to take the work when the work needs to be done, and then the fun when the fun needs to be done. I feel like the older guys last year kind of chopped it and mixed it up all in together, and it made it fun. But I feel like for us, it really wasn't what we needed. So I feel like just having the focus on the focus, and then the fun on the fun. That's the biggest thing I took away from it.
TJ, pretty good drive for you guys, motivation, the way you finished last year.
Yeah, definitely.
How does that play out in the spring?
We're all determined, more determined now than ever, because last year we were a team that had to learn from experiences rather than just being told what's going to happen, which happened the majority of the time. So I feel like now that a lot of the guys that played last year were younger, they got to feel what it felt like to not be that good team that we're supposed to be. So I feel like a lot of those guys understand now, and we all kind of have a greater understanding of how important it is.
You mentioned Jarrell, just with him coming from the JUCO level, how have you kind of seen him come along?
Yeah, he's come a long way, extremely long way. He was one of those guys that, you have to kind of push every day, but now, like, as the spring ball started, we started playing more football, you start to see him get out of his little box a lot more, start playing a little harder, working out a little harder, just becoming more comfortable.
You just sum up this defensive line group in 15, 20 seconds, what would you say about them?
Energetic, ready to work, and people that are going to get after it.
Any noticeable changes with Matt coming in as the DC, or has he tweaked some things, that kind of thing?
Oh yeah, he's definitely tweaked a few things, but like I said in past interview, the biggest thing that he's changed is the defensive mindset, the energy we bring to practice every day, the importance on energy, because like I said before, the energy you need the energy, and the technique will come along as we practice more. So I feel like the emphasis is on the energy a lot more.
Ask TJ the same thing. Do you feel like you need to be one of the leaders out there, being one of the older guys?
For sure, because like me and TJ were one of the few guys that have like a lot of experience on defense and stuff like that. So it's important for us to work hard and guide them because they're always looking at us.
Are you playing inside in now, or where they got you?
I'm playing defensive end right now, so it's like 4-eye and 3 technique, stuff like that.
Okay. Is there one you prefer over the other?
I like 3 technique personally.
Okay.
What do you see from this group as a whole that gives you confidence about what you guys can do up front this year?
To be honest, it's the energy, because we always bring energy. The coaches always bring energy, and some days you feeling slumped, you feeling tired, but everybody bring energy, and they make you just want to work harder every day.
We got to talk with Apu and Jackson yesterday. What are some things that you learned from them last season?
Really, I learned a lot of things from them, like technique-wise too, and just like a strong mentality. Because like being with like top-tier athletes like them, you just see how people think about the game differently and how people play the game differently, and you just learn from them and like add it to your own style. To be honest,
What's it going to take to replace 2 guys like that on the defensive line?
it's going to take guys like me and TJ to push our other players and make guys like that, because those guys were also like the young guys we have, but they grew into special players. And so I think the guys that we have right now can also become those special players.
Y'all had a bunch of guys move to defensive line from other positions. What are you seeing from that group, and are they picking up on stuff, I guess?
Jackie Marshall moved from Jack to defensive line. He's already a strong dude. He's just learning more from Coach DJ, like more technique, more stuff like that. So he's growing every day, become a better player, and you can see it in each practice. He's willing to grow, so he's gonna become a great player one day.
How exciting is it when you think about some of these guys that we played with last year? They went through pro day yesterday. Just to think that in a month or less than that, if they're going to have their name called or maybe get a chance to make an NFL team.
It's wild. It's actually really exciting. Like watching Apu and people like that go through drafts and stuff like that, like the combine. It's amazing, to be honest. I get to watch them like, okay, that's gonna be me next year. Like I play with that dude. It's kind of crazy, and it's like that they're brothers, so it makes you happy to see them succeed.
Yeah, how's that fuel you in kind of your want and desire?
Oh, it just made me more hungry, because I know if they can do it, I can do it. So I can be up there with them. So I'm just going to keep working hard every day and be up there.
A lot of motivation on the team after the season you guys had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of motivation, because, we worked very hard last year, but just because you work hard don't mean you finna win every single game. So, we got to work hard and still go out there and play good. And we just know, knowing that this year, that we got to work hard and also execute. So it's just how it goes.
And then having Jarrell out there, just how's he been with the team so far, that kind of thing? He's
grown a lot. He came in, we worked hard. He wasn't really used to that at first, but he's grown a lot with the help of the older guys pushing him. So he's grown into a good player, and by the time season comes, he's going to be full ready to go.
And then what's been your impression of Coach Powledge? It seems like he just brings a lot of energy.
Cool dude, energy. It drives me every day. It's just seeing a guy smile all the time, not getting down, it really pushes the team.
Are y'all still mostly in a 3-man, or are y'all using any 4-man fronts?
We do 3-man and 4-man fronts. It just depends.
I know it's a long ways out, but have you given any thought about the new teams that entered the conference and kind of getting to see some new faces and new areas of the country when you go play?
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. I just line up, play whoever's in front of me.
Thanks, Gabe.
All right.
Appreciate it.